What is up, ladder climbers? Antoine Wade here from Elevate to the Unknown and on YouTube and blkheights.com here, guys. It is Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Central, and it is time for the AI mandate on the Intel this Thursday. So, guys, I have a good show prepared for you guys, but listen up. Google, they just told their workers, you better use AI for everything or you're out. That's exactly what Google just said overnight. A leaked article went over to Business Insider, and you are the first to hear about this. Microsoft also is paying up to $1.3 million for AI jobs. And a big study came out that says 95% of all AI projects don't work. So y'all, this changes just about everything about jobs. Google now is telling their workers that they have to use AI or they get fired. And Microsoft is paying crazy money for AI people. And while everyone thinks that AI is some magic, a wand and a wave, and everybody's giving it all the hype, most companies are wasting millions of dollars on it. My coffee this morning is extra strong. I'm talking about extra strong. I just had my wife pour me a nice little cup before I jumped on here. But today we're going to be breaking down the biggest AI job news ever. Plus, we're going to be talking about Jerome Powell, how he's going to be speaking today about interest rates and Workday. So they are going to be releasing earnings tonight. I said on yesterday's show that it was going to be on that night. My days were wrong, so my apologies. However, when they release earnings tonight, we'll be able to talk about it on tomorrow morning. And this is going to explain how HR tech jobs are going and if they are safe. Guys, make sure you hit the like button because this is live AI career intelligence. We're showing you Google's AI rules. We're revealing Microsoft's secret salary numbers, and I have an AI expert who's going to be joining us for 45 minutes to tell you exactly how to get these high-paying AI jobs. And if also he's going to chime in to determine and tell us his thoughts on if AI is a hype bubble, is it going to burst? He's going to give us his opinions on this, guys. So ladder climbers, this is Thursday, and I hope you guys are ready for this show. Let me see who is all in the house today. Who is all in the house today? We got Teresa Wade in the house. We got NC Realtor in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got AI and me also in the house, and he's on the interview today. So I'm excited to have him on, and we are going to go ahead and kick it off, guys. But let me tell you guys what happened overnight, okay? So Google told 180,000 employees, their workers, that they must use AI tools every day or risk getting left behind. That is the new AI mandate, guys. And you don't believe me? This is it right here. Google CEO said use AI or you're going to get left behind. That's it. Second, Microsoft's secret salary list, it leaked. So you know how AI has all the salaries and they have all the data and all that sort of stuff, right? Well, this information went over to Business Insider, and now we have a clear view of what AI workers are making. And they make up to 1.3 million per year at Microsoft. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you guys know that AI engineers and automation engineers and some of the most brilliant people in AI are making hundreds of millions of dollars because Meta is recruiting them. And Mark Zuckerberg offered a gentleman $1.5 billion. But that's how much money people are getting paid in this industry. But 1.3 million is good enough too. I'll take that. All right. But the third thing we're going to talk about today is MIT study and how it proves that 95% of companies waste money on AI, but 5% make millions from it. And then fourth, Jerome Powell speaks today about cutting interest rates which affects hiring. If he cuts interest rates, guys, I'm going to tell you like this. You're going to see more people getting hired. The job market is going to get better. It's going to look better for many of us who are in the job market right now. But here's what this means for us. AI skills are no longer optional. I'm telling you just about every single day that you need to be using AI tools to increase your efficiency. Well, companies are telling you right now that they're no longer optional. They're required for your career survival. If you guys are in this chat and listening to this, drop a one in the chat if you think that your job will require AI soon. I mean, like, if Microsoft have already said it. Microsoft said this a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, actually, that everybody inside of Microsoft will be using AI. Google just came out and said it. If Microsoft and Google said it, then who else is going to be saying it next? I can tell you like this. I know somebody who said it. I was on an all hands call this week and they said it. So if it's at the bigger companies like Microsoft and Google, you know that it's going to be coming to your company as well. You know it. PBO's in the house. Humble Before is in the house. It says, yeah, and the companies still are not hiring due to AI. Google is trying to keep it trained. Hey, you know, Humble Before him is saying that his job is going to be requiring him to use AI, him or her. Right? So today we're going to be showing you exactly what AI skills that you need. We're revealing the real salaries companies pay for AI work. And my AI, let me say that again. My AI expert is giving you a step-by-step plan to get these jobs. Okay. But let's move on to Google's ultimatum. Google's ultimatum. Use AI. Google Sundar Pichai, the head guy at Google. He's the big man. He's a big man in charge. Brilliant background, smart individual, rose through the ranks, took Chrome and made it the best web browser that's out there. That's how he got the head spot. Okay. In a big meeting, he told all of his employees, you need to use AI for Google to win. Google is the company that makes the search engine in Gmail that you use just about every single day. And you already seen how they are integrating AI inside of their tools. I use AI inside of my Gmail. I use Gemini. Now, I don't use Gemini as frequent as I use some of the other tools, but I use Gemini. Gemini is good. It definitely is really good at creating images, but not very detailed images. It is good at creating video. It is very good at that. But here's what Google is now making workers do. So for their computer programmers, they must use AI to write code every day. That's what they're basically saying. Use AI to write code. So job descriptions are going to be changed. And job descriptions for their employees must use AI is going to be in there. Just imagine that. Now, at one point in time, you had all these jobs that are out there. Didn't have anything about AI in it a couple of years ago. Didn't have anything about AI in this year. All the career counselors and career recruiters are saying you better be using AI. Antoine is even telling you better use AI. And now you're starting to see the bigger companies put it into the job descriptions. Even recruiters got ahead of it and said companies are now looking for people with AI inside of their LinkedIn. I don't know if many of you guys actually went out there and changed your LinkedIn when we was talking about it months ago. Would have got you some extra looks, if anything. But bosses are asking workers to prove that they are using AI tools. Some workers think AI use will be part of their job reviews. Just imagine that, right? Now, you got a boss, you sitting down, you're reporting into him, and, you've been delivering work. And now his biggest thing towards you is you're not using enough AI tools. Your work is getting done, but you're not using the AI tools. So you could potentially be fired for not using AI tools. And there's some people who have a resistance to using technology like this. They don't want to use it. They think they can do the work without. They're scared of it. They've been doing the same thing for a very long time to where their mind can't even fathom using a tool like AI, some tools like AI. But one Google worker told a news reporter, you have to use AI to get ahead now. Another worker made a joke. If AI really helped, they wouldn't have to force it on us. What does he know? Google says AI helps their programmers work 10% faster. They say AI now writes 30% of all new computer code at Google. That means humans write 70%, AI writes 30%. Google spent $2.4 billion last month to hire AI experts from another company. So they are in this war with Microsoft, with Meta, with OpenAI to compete for the best talent in the market, to build the best AI. So they're spending the money on it and they're forcing their workers to use it. And the reason why they're forcing their workers to use it is because if they can use it inside the company, then you know it's going to be good for the mass market. It's testing grounds. This is what companies do. If Google workers need AI skills to keep their jobs, what do you think will happen at every other company? Google is the biggest tech company. When Google does something, everyone else copies it. Banks are already asking workers to use AI tools. Hospitals are training doctors and nurses on AI. Even small businesses are buying AI software. The companies that don't require AI skills yet will start requiring them soon. You need to learn AI before your boss makes it mandatory. That's just the reality of it. And this isn't about being replaced by AI. This is about working with AI to keep your job and to get promoted. That's the new thing now. You want to get to the next level in your career, right? You want to, get that VP status, or you want to become that senior director, or you want to become the director, or you want to become, what is it? The lead, the technical lead, the program manager, the product manager. You want to become these things, right? Well, you better start using AI because it's going to be mandatory soon. And before your boss even tells you to use it, you should already be using it. Explore. It can do a lot, I'm telling you. And Google's AI mandate is spreading everywhere. But that creates opportunity for people who get ready first. So if you're already ready, you're already in the game. Now, I want to shift the discussion a bit, because this happened overnight as well. A whole bunch of tech stuff happened overnight, okay? Let me show you exactly what companies pay for AI skills. Microsoft employees posted their real salaries online, and I got the numbers. Microsoft makes Windows, Xbox, and cloud operating services. Here's what AI workers at Microsoft actually make. You want to see? Here are the numbers. Big money, guys. This ain't no little money. This is big time money. Cloud and AI team. Starting salary, $128,000 per year. Top salary, $340,000 per year. Stock money, $8,000 to $1 million. Total pay can reach $1.3 million. That's just cloud and AI team. Core AI team. Starting salary, $126,000. Top salary, $213,000. Stock money, $10,000 to $64,000. Microsoft AI team. Starting salary, $139,000. Top salary, $207,000. Stock money, $18,000 to $56,000. That's a lot of money, guys. It's big time. It's big time. The highest paid people at Microsoft work in cloud, in AI. Some make over $1 million a year. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Let me put this in perspective for you, okay? The average American worker makes about $50,000 per year, okay? 50,000 per year. That's the average American worker. Okay. You guys may be in the average or you may be above average. But AI workers make 128,000 per year to 1.3 million per year. That's 2 to 26 times more money than the average worker. Microsoft is paying these crazy salaries because they can't find enough people who know AI. Just imagine, we are in that economic curve where the demand is more than the supply, right? So of course, if you guys go back to the basic rules of economics, when the demand exceeds the supply, what does that mean? Salaries are going to be up in this case, right? While Microsoft lays off workers in some areas, they're paying multi-million-dollar salaries to AI experts. So 9,100 people were laid off a few months ago. We've been talking about that. I did a video on that. Well, they're paying AI workers millions of dollars to replace them. And many AI jobs let you work from home. That means that you can make Microsoft money while living in cheap places. 200,000 salary goes further in Texas than in California. It's true. You can help small businesses with AI while working remotely. Companies need AI help just about every single place. You don't have to move to Silicon Valley to make good money. You can do it just about anywhere. You can do it from small Orangeburg, South Carolina, where I grew up at. Little town in the boondocks. You don't have to be in the thick of it. You can be on the outskirts of it. You can do it like my man Kamal, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, or last week, live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Your job will pay you that amount of money when you have the skills. Now, let me tell you about the truth in the AI world, okay? It's important here. The truth in the AI world is this. You got AI being waved around like it is a magic wand and it's going to be the cure for everything, right? That's what people are saying. That's what companies are believing in and so forth. But is it an AI bubble? I'll tell you the truth that nobody wants to admit. Smart professors at MIT studied how companies use AI, and they found that 95% of AI projects don't make companies any money. That means 95% of companies out of 100 waste their money on AI. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Let me know in the chats. Good to see you, Jeff. Good to see you, Jason. Ant Dog says, I got my access to Copilot Studio. It's up from here. Good stuff, my man. Good stuff. My man Jason says, Ant Dog says he got access to his Copilot. I absolutely love it. Go and start using it. Let us know how it's working out for you too, Ant Dog. Sigoria says, Antoine, how much do you think that AI will affect the supply chain market? It's going to affect the supply chain market. It's going to reduce a lot of the waste in the supply chain market. It's going to allow for people to work a lot faster in the supply chain market. I still say this, go in the supply chain industry. Fantastic space. AI is needed inside of it. Be one of those individuals who's using AI to help the supply chain industry. Sigorius. But let me continue on. I want to share a video with you guys about an MIT study. And I want you guys to hear it from the mouth of the source.
Artificial intelligence, or AI. It has been pitched as capitalism's new golden goose. Generative AI was supposed to do it all, write our emails, reinvent customer service, and even reshape entire economies. But as we near 2026, the goose is looking less golden. It's more like a very expensive pigeon. And I'm not the one saying this. A new MIT study says the quiet part out loud. 95% of enterprise AI pilots fail. 95%. They do not deliver any meaningful revenue impact. So why is AI struggling to live up to its hype? In Silicon Valley, hype moves faster than product market fit. Take OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic, for example. They drop their shiny new models. Companies sprint to adopt them, to build their own tools around them. Every Monday is AI Monday. Meetings are cancelled, roadmaps are rewritten, budgets are reallocated, all in the service of the AI pivot. But here's the hangover. Only about 5% of pilots actually boosted revenues in a measurable way. For the rest, the dashboards looked busy, but the bottom line stayed stubbornly flat. And here's another revelation. Companies that buy specialized tools succeed more. They succeed twice as often as those trying to build their own. But try telling that to the enterprising CEO.
She said a lot. 95% of projects that use AI right now fail. Only 5% win. Companies are willing to invest because there's going to be a breakthrough. She also says this. A lot of companies who are looking to make their own AI and to build their own agents and so forth, they fail versus the companies who actually buy it. Just imagine, right? You know, you clean your house on a weekly basis, right? Something that you do, mow your yard and so forth, right? A lot of times you don't have time. You don't have the resources to do it. You have baseball games, you have basketball games, football games. You're just tired. You had a long work week. So sometimes you get up and when you clean your house, it's not as clean as it would be if you had a cleaner that came through and did it every single day. It's the exact same thing that companies are experiencing when they are trying to build their own AI. There are experts out here who do this stuff for a living. They know it. They breathe it. They work with many customers versus you trying to do that inside your own house and you don't have access to a whole bunch of other stuff. So for the AI companies that legitimately can make it work, those are going to be the companies that blow up. This is why I love the space that I am in my career right now. But let's let her continue on.
So the result is this: thousands of internal builds that get stuck in endless beta testing. And by the time the system works, ChatGPT has already released its next version, leaving the enterprise tool obsolete even before it's deployed. Also, here's another dirty secret. Most corporate AI budgets are getting sunk into sales and marketing gimmicks. Think AI email writers, AI pitch decks, AI lead generators. But what's the real return on investment, or ROI as they call it? It's in back office automation, like cutting down grunt work, streamlining operations. That is where AI really shines. The math is clear, but the psychology is not. Because companies often just love shiny dashboards. But all of this raises a question we have often asked. Is artificial intelligence a bubble? Sam Altman recently answered this question, and it's not what you would expect. The OpenAI CEO, Sam Altman, says this is indeed a bubble. But in his words, it's a bubble built around a kernel of truth. And that phrase is important here, the kernel of truth. It is what made the dot-com boom so intoxicating. Back then, the internet was the next big thing. It was going to change everything. Billions were poured into half-baked ideas. Thousands of companies sprouted. Yes, the internet did change a lot, but it did not change everything. Pets.com was not Amazon. Webvan was not Instacart. The Nasdaq lost nearly 80% of its value between the years 2000 and 2002, but from that wreckage emerged the giants: Google, Amazon, eBay.
You guys heard it. Now, I want to do something right now. I want to bring in my AI resident expert here to give us some feedback. Good to see you, AI. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm from my car today, so I'm here to answer questions, delve into the AI topics, and basically talk about not only the last video you just talked about, but all the previous videos.
I love it. I love it. So you just heard whether AI is a bubble or not. I use it every single day. I use it for my content creation. I use it for my job. I use it to help with sourcing leads and all that sort of stuff. Give me your thoughts on this video that I just shared with the audience here. As somebody who's in AI and has been in this space for a long time, before we even do that, AI and me, give everyone a quick background on yourself, and then let's jump into that question around the video that I just played. Give a brief background on yourself, sir.
So I've been in the AI space. I've been a data scientist, data architecture for the past 10 to 15 years. I've worked in different industries, from government to healthcare to finance. I've built algorithms for fraud detection, algorithms for different aspects, from facial recognition to reinforcement learning to different aspects of it. I've built different types of algorithms. I'm even currently looking at quantum neural networks and all that stuff. So I've been in this space longer than people can even. I was talking about AI before people even knew what AI, before it became this boom. Yeah, I've been talking about the data space long before it became a boom. I've been talking about people getting into this avenue before it became this huge. So my own background, I have a chemical engineering background, a civil engineering background, and currently I'm trying to get my CPA license in terms of finance to enter the financial data science route. So currently I'm a data science for a cybersecurity firm right now.
Good stuff.
So I'm in every area you expect.
I love it. I love it. So, and guys, you can go and watch this channel. 4 or 5 years ago, I've had AI and me on this channel talking about AI and the metaverse and AI and data analytics and data science. And he's been throughout this channel multiple times. So this is the resident expert who's been in this space for a very long time, before AI even became a thing, before ChatGPT dropped into the mainstream. He's been in the AI space. But AI and me, give me your perspective on what was said. Are we in an AI bubble? What is your take on this?
The answer is, it's true. 90% of algorithms, 95% of algorithms fail. But they never talked about the reason it failed. The reason is 95% of companies don't understand their data. Remember, AI is driven by data. So if you don't understand your data, the algorithms will basically always fail. So the 5% who understand their data invest the time to actually understand their data. And I'll give you an example. I'm going to use you and Mr. Wade to understand why 95% fail. So you want to grow your channel. And you look at, what do you look at? You look at your YouTube analytics, right?
That's right.
And is that all you look at?
No, I look at other people's channels. I look at, that's just about the two things. I look at other people's channels and I look at my analytics, which has a whole bunch of information in it. So many dashboards.
So I call that's 50% of the work. Did you look at, because right now in your analytics, you have profiles in terms of demographics and all that, and your channel talks about economics, but did you look at GDP and unemployment rate of those demographics?
Did not.
In terms of, did you look at the demographic? Did you look at not only unemployment rate, the inflation rate that affects them? Did you look at that?
No, I did not.
So that's the problem. You looked at 50%, but if you are focusing on maybe your demographics of 50% women, 40% men, and the ages of 25 to 35, and you look at the unemployment rate for them, and you see it's increasing, don't you think you should look at a way to advertise to those people to increase your subscription rate and people to basically come into your channel more?
Mm.
So
Mm.
that's the example. It's companies just look at 50% of what they have. They look at their revenue, like their P&L statement or their internal analytics, but the external part. So companies need to understand how their whole data affects their whole system. 90% of the company never did what I just did with you in 5 minutes. I just did this in 5 minutes. YouTube invests years to understand not only how the internal analytics affects them, but external data. So they gather all these data and then put it in the algorithms and say, okay, I want to increase my revenue. I know everything about how my business works. I know how everything affects it. I want this algorithm to basically make a prediction on how my revenue can increase in the next 5-10 years.
Mm.
So this is what 90% of companies are not doing. It's not looking at their systems and capturing the right data to put in these algorithms to make them basically profitable. And that's why 90% is failing. The 5% of the big companies who are investing to understand every aspect of their business, every data, every influence their data to influence, and then make predictions, and then make basically choices from those data. And I just did that with yours in 5 minutes, and you see you're set.
I see. So
that's where the problem.
It really, that's what it sounds like. AI me. It sounds like it is not that AI is failing. It's the matter of the data that's failing. I got it. So AI me. When I first started off this show, we covered Google forcing workers to use AI and Microsoft paying 1.3 million for AI jobs. Right? I want to give my my folks something to latch onto. Based on your experience, what are the hottest AI jobs that companies can't fill right now? The ones that they can't fill?
So the most difficult ones they can't fill are the ones where, like my jobs, where I do AI research, AI engineers, machine learning engineers, facial recognition engineers, different ways. And again, these are the hard to fill. Even AI ethics right now. It's not highly mathematical, but AI ethics is understanding how these algorithms make decisions and how to track those decisions and then write ethical, basically, language to say, okay, you have to feed this algorithm this type of data. You have to look through this to see if it's biased. You have to understand this data. So AI ethics looks through this. So AI, it's a huge field. There are a lot of jobs that are out there, and a lot of jobs can't be filled right now because they can't find enough from AI engineers, machine learning, deep learning, reinforcement learning, robotics, everything. It's difficult to fill it, and it's not difficult because it's difficult in terms of learning. It's difficult because people already have a fear of it. The fear of, oh, it's AI, it's too much math, or hey, it's AI, it's too much coding, or but if you look through it, it's not. But people are so afraid of hearing it, and they already give up. So it's hard to fill those positions. It's really hard, and the jobs are plentiful. If you look at Pinterest, Shopify, Microsoft, once you start looking, you see a lot of jobs in machine learning, AI, and all that, and they pay a lot, but it's difficult to fill it because people are afraid of just picking up a book and looking at it and trying to find that interest in it.
So, follow-up question to this, AI and me, because you're talking about the education and how people have a fear. But which of these jobs pay 6 figures but don't require a computer science degree?
All of it. My coworker is a music major, and she makes what, 200?
300 you said, or 200?
200. She makes 200, and she's a music major. She has a music background, and she just learned SQL, data science, and statistics, and she makes buku money.
Wow.
And she's a music major. I have other people who are economics major. I have someone who just came out of college with uh, an IT. There's different nuances in terms of this. I have nurses. I have healthcare professionals. It just depends on where you want to go, what you want to do, and how to do it. And it's it's open. It's not restrictive. I don't have a PhD. Remember, I am not anywhere a PhD, and I make good money in terms of this career. And again, I'll be transparent with you. I get offers every 2 months, offer letters every 2 months in my inbox. Every 2 months, and since everybody has been shouting, there have been tech layoffs. Every 2 months, I have an offer letter in my inbox, and some of it are annoying that I don't want it, but yes, this is how it is.
Boy, oh boy. So my audience, they keep asking me, maybe not the ones that's in this chat right now, but they keep asking me, do you really need to be a programmer to get into AI? And give me your honest answer here. No,
you don't. I won't call myself any kind of programmer. I'm not a computer science. No, I'm not. I understand mathematics. I understand even the basic statistics, and I understand data. I understand how to communicate. Like I just communicated with you on how what you need to look at in order to improve your subscription, looking at data. I know how to communicate that. I know how to communicate insight. I know how to look at insights. I know how to look at data. I know how to look at every aspect of data. I am nowhere near a computer programmer. Nowhere near. I understand Python and R and understand how to take that to create mathematical functions, but nowhere computer. I'm nowhere near. No, I don't know. I understand data, I understand numbers, but I'm nowhere near a programmer.
I love it.
And
I love it.
That insights, anybody who tells you have to be a great programmer, that's a lie. You don't really need to be a great programmer. You just need to know how to look at insights and how to communicate that data to customers. And again, there are different tools. But again, no, you don't need to be a great programmer. Anybody who tells you that's a lie.
So what is for someone who wants to break into this sort of space, what's the entry path for someone with like zero coding skills? Because you're so away from it. Zero coding skills, but they have good business skills.
Good, that's great. So zero coding skills, good business skills. So the question is, where do you want to be in this industry? Because again, industry is everywhere. You have healthcare, supply chain, legal. Where do you want to be in this industry? Where do you see yourself in this industry? Finance. The next question is, in terms of AI, remember AI is data. So what I always tell you is first study basic statistics. Basic, meaning mean, median, mode, all that simple stuff first. Build that knowledge of statistics. Then start understanding how data works. Then I'll say enter the Python, but you don't need to learn everything about Python. But the basic first step is learning statistics, knowing where you want to be in the industry. If you want to be in the healthcare space, healthcare informatics, where do you want to be in that area? You want to be in supply chain? Where do you want to be because Amazon hires a lot of supply chain data scientists and data analysts to look at weather patterns, look at how to ship, all that good stuff, and they pay well. Just tell me where you want to be. Where do you want to be? If you want to be in AI ethics, you really don't need coding, but you need to understand a little bit of math. You want to be, where do you want to be? You want to learn platform? You want to learn, where do you want to be? You want to be in accounting with AI? Great. HR. Woo. I know a lot of human resource individuals in human that make great money as a data scientist in human resources. They take data, human data, and try to analyze basically how this individual fits in the company. They take all data, they take surveys, they take all that, analyze surveys, analyze people's thoughts, and try to figure out, are they a good fit in here? Resumes. They take all the resumes, try to figure out where to get the best candidate from based on all the resumes. Analyze. All this is data. Remember, everything you have is data. Resumes are data. All the resumes you have are data. Anything you have is data. People calling and doing stuff is data. How many times someone calls HR and complains is data. Everything is data. Just know, in the human resources side, anything you can think of is data. And the goal is, okay, how can I analyze this data to make this company more profitable, or give them more insights on terms of what kind of customers they have, or what kind of people they need to recruit. So everything, what I look at is everything and anything you say or do is data. And the goal is to capture it and know what to do with it.
I love that. And so it sounds like to me that if anybody wants to break into this with no zero coding skills, the best thing is to really focus on the data piece of it. Learn the basics of statistics and then get into the data analysis, the data statistics area, which therefore you can then translate that to any industry that you're in. Do you suggest AI for someone like, let's just say somebody spent 4 years in the healthcare industry and they want to leverage AI, but they've been on the business side, not on the other side of the healthcare industry. Not on the technical side. They've been on the business side. So for them to make that sort of transition, just really start to get into statistics and the data elements of it, and they're pretty much on their way.
They should also realize they already have experience. So you're a nurse, you already know everything about, when you come in, what do you do when a nurse comes in? You take their blood pressure, that's data. You take their temperature, that's data. You look at how many patients you have, that's data. Your goal is to say, I already do this on a daily basis. Now you have to switch your mind from, these are not people, but these are numbers. So now your mindset in the AI side is, these are numbers now. And how can I make these numbers profitable? Or how can I make these numbers make sense? So now, if you're in the business side, your goal is to, and I'm not only seeing these patients as patients, but I'm also seeing them as numbers. I'm tracking this patient here, his blood pressure, his temperature, and all that. How does that make this individual better? Is his blood pressure and all that? You already know, nurses already know this. Your goal now is to just extract that data and make that whole place profitable. How many patients can I see in a day? And how can I improve them and make sure they have a very comfortable experience in that place?
I love it, man. That was a brilliant example, because you can translate that to just about every single field. AI, every single field, if you look at it that way. No, that's fantastic. So Google, they're now requiring AI skills for all workers. Okay. If someone watching has never used AI tools, what should they start with?
ChatGPT is a great start. Again, ChatGPT is a great start, because at that point you can now ask a question. This is what I'm currently doing. I work in supply chain. I work in accounting. What AI tools are available in that area? That's the first step you need to do. Understand what you do and ask the questions. What AI tools are available in that industry? And start investigating those AI tools. And your goal is, at this point, is to understand the AI tools and how to use it to do your job efficiently. Remember, AI is just a tool to basically make your job to work efficiently. In terms of, I use most AI tools. And the goal is just to improve how you work smart. So again, if you are interested in AI, first thing is understand what you are, where you are, what skills you have, and then ask the question. Go to ChatGPT and say, hey, I work as an administrative assistant. What AI tools are currently here to expedite how I type faster or how I prepare payroll faster? And once you list that, you can then look at it and say, okay, how can I learn these? And that's where you start going from.
I love that. I love that. How long, in your experience, how long does it take to learn enough AI to be valuable employees to your employer? So if someone who's never used AI before, right, and they start to use it, how long does it take in your mind for them to become a very valuable employee to their employers?
It shouldn't take long, especially if you're just doing what you do on a daily basis, and the goal is to take that tool to expedite it. It shouldn't take long. Now, there are two paths. If you are trying to basically utilize AI tools to expedite your job and say, okay, I want to be able to incorporate AI to people trying to switch career path, going from a non-tech background to a highly technical or tech AI. I want to be an AI scientist or a prompt engineer or something like that, or a data analyst. That takes time. That takes time to understand. That takes time to build your skills to understand how beneficial that is.
Yeah.
So, okay, can you hear me now?
You're good. You're good now.
So those are the two paths. There's one path is if you already have a job and you're trying to incorporate what you do on a daily basis with AI, it doesn't take time. You already do the job. AI is just here to assist you. But if you want to transition into a more high-paying job where you want to look for $200,000, $300,000, that takes time. You're not going to learn a $300,000 skill in 2 weeks, no matter who you are. you're not going to go to LinkedIn and say, "Oh, today I'm an AI engineer," and expect in 2 weeks to get a job and get paid $300,000, and because you spent 2 weeks learning medium mode and you think no, that's not how it works.
I love it. So we showed no, go ahead. So AI and me, we showed Microsoft salary data, 128,000 to 1.3 million for AI roles. Can you break down what someone needs to learn or needs to know to earn at the different levels? So for instance, at 128, just give us a rough understanding of what somebody needs to learn in order for them to make 128,000. And then at the far end, 1.3 million, right? Like, what does that look like? Because I think a lot of people, when they see these salaries, right, they're like, man, like, what is it that these $1.3 million people actually are making? What is it that they know? Briefly sum that up for us. What kind of knowledge somebody needs to have to make 128,000 at the AI level, and then the 1.3 million.
So those are correct. I won't lie to you. Those are correct. So even in healthcare and all that. So in 128, these are the basics. This is just an entry level. I call that entry level. If you're making 128, you're entry level right there. 130, 90 to 120 entry level. I call that entry level. That's basically you coming out and those are your data analysts. Statistics, a little bit of Python. You don't need to know a lot. A little bit of statistics, understand how to communicate data. You don't need to know those. So those are entry level. So you come in, they're training you, you're doing all that. That's like 90 to 120. Entry level. That's typical. I've seen it typical entry level. And you have a background, you might have a music background, but you just know statistics, a little bit of SQL, know how to look at data, analyze data, and give a story about data. Entry level.
So basically, that sounds like basic data analytics, basic entry level data analytics, something that Google Coursera analytics course would probably be a good.
Teach you that.
Yep.
Yeah. So basic analytics, 90 to 128. That's entry level. I call that entry level. If you beyond that and you're getting 128, you're getting cheated. So 250 to 500 or 400, That is your mid. That's data science level. That is, you understand machine learning, you understand deep learning, you understand a little bit of you understand a lot in terms of you getting paid 200 to 300, 400. You understand a bit. You understand not only how to take their data, you understand how to understand their data. You understand how to digest their data. You understand how to make predictions. Okay, I want to make a prediction in the next 5 years, how your company is going to be looking at based on all these variables. You know how to classify data. You understand how that works. You understand robotics. You understand facial recognition, how to draw a facial, how to design a facial recognition. You understand RAGs. You understand a lot from 300 to 400. You understand how to do stuff. You can make an impact. Now from 500 to 1.3 million, that's big money there. That's big money. That's big money. So 500, 1.3 million, those are the like financial, they're quants. They go into the stock markets. They say, okay, I want to make a prediction in terms of how this stock market will look in the next 3-4 years. Big companies like wealth managers hire quants. This is your Googles who hire research like OpenAI, NVIDIA, or hire research scientists to look at how to improve your algorithms, how to improve your large language models, how to improve your transformer models like with the OpenAI, ChatGPT, Brock, all that, how to improve those models, how to improve your prediction models, you're creating models to now sell to other companies, small businesses. These are the 500 to 1.3 million. You're making impact. You're doing research. You're not only doing research, you're also doing things with robotics. You're working with Elon Musk's company to create automated vehicles. These are 500 to 1.3 million. This is big money. And you got to understand, you don't need a PhD. You don't need a PhD, but you need a degree. I'm not going to pay you 1.3 million and you coming out of high school and you tell me you did what? And you want me to give you 1.3 million? I'm going to be realistic. Nobody's going to pay you 500 to 1.3 million coming out of high school or coming out of college and telling them you deserve 500 to 1.3 million. If you come out of college and you're getting 1.3, you either built something and you show that you have done something remarkable. But to say you're going to get 500 to 1.3 million because you were you, yeah, that doesn't work in the real life.
Well, what it sounds
you have
like,
to basically show that.
That's exactly what it sounds like, AI and me. So how I would explain it is like this. You're getting paid 500 to 1.3 million because you are basically a business. You are generating revenue. You are creating a product that the company can sell that is generating a large amount of revenue or customers. You are a significant value add, right? So
your expertise are so that big that any other company they're willing to steal you away.
That's right.
So your expertise are that basically impactful that you can write an algorithm and look at data and say, okay, like what I just did with you. Imagine doing that for YouTube.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that for looking at understanding their whole business practice and telling them this is where you need to take data and this is where you need to make impacts. This is where you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and your revenue increases. You can correlate that. This is with 1.3 million. How to understand. They actually understand every aspect of the business, every aspect of the data, and know how to digest it and know how to basically make it functional.
I love it. So I mentioned federal government hiring 100,000 cybersecurity and AI workers on yesterday's live stream. What's really happening in the government AI jobs? Because I know you've worked in this space. You know a lot about it. What's really happening there?
The truth is, yes, people are getting fired, but people in AI, cybersecurity, they're getting hired and getting paid buku money. I mean, it's ridiculous because all I'm hearing is people getting fired, and all I'm hearing is we can't find AI people. We can't find data people. We can't find data scientists, cybersecurity. We can't find all these people, and we need them. Recruiters, especially if you have a security clearance, you have an AI skill, your recruiters are going to be calling you every single day. Your phone will be blowing up. It's that it's in such a need that yes, people who are getting fired, that's a sad situation. But the truth is, there's such a need in the AI space, in the government sector, that they can't find enough people. They really can't. Because will I rather go to Netflix that pays me 500 to 1 million, or will I come here and they give you maybe 200 to 250 to 300? Or I go to Netflix and get 500. But again, that's the problem is there's so much, the private sector is taking the AI, enough of the AI people, that the government sector, they can't find enough. And the people they find they're not staying in one place. I know a lot of my friends, and they stay in jobs like every year and a half, and they take off because after that, they give them a $50,000 raise. Hey, you want to come here? I'll give you another 50,000, 100,000 if you leave your job real quick. I just got here a year. Can you wait? No, I'll give you 100,000. My seat here is it's not even warm enough. Now you can come. So that's the government space. I think they give you the bad part. Like, there's a lot of fine, but the truth is, if you're in the tech space, especially in the AI, cybersecurity, I promise you, I know a lot of folks can't stay in their place in more than a year because they get more offers each year. And if the company that hires you, they try to lock you in, like, okay, you have to stay here for a year. We're going to give you a bonus, and you're going to sign this contract to at least stay here for a year. Because we can't be losing you every 1 year. People start moving away. So companies are now doing that. You have to stay here a year, and we'll give you a lot of bonuses and a lot of signing bonus, but you have to stay here for a year at least. Because I know people after 6 months, someone comes in and say, hey, we'll offer you $50,000 more if you come here. Say, I just got here 6 months to a year. Can I wait now? We'll give you more money. Okay, I'm coming then. So that's what's going on.
I love it. So I know you're running out of time, but I have about 3 more questions for you, AI. I mean, do you got enough time to answer those?
Sure.
Okay. So for the enterprise companies, right? These are the Workdays, the Microsofts, and the Oracles and so forth, like we've talked about on this channel. What AI skills do they actually need help with? Because I like to position the audience to understand where the opportunities are, right? And we've discussed where those opportunities are, but in your mind, what AI skills do they actually need help with?
So, like I said, when that video, you talked about 90% of companies fail with the Gen AI. The real reason why now is most skills now is to understand what data they have. It's not trying to take all the machine learning algorithms and all that. Yes, it's there, but first thing is saying, what data do you have? So understanding, looking at the process and understanding, this is the process. What data can I get from your process? What data influences your bottom line? Asking those questions is the most vital question you can ever ask a company. Most 90% of companies can't answer that. So if you can come in there and answer that, do you really think they're not going to pay you $50,000 a month just to answer that? To come in and say, hey, this is the data that influences your bottom line. This is what you need to capture. And if you capture it, we're going to put it in this algorithm to predict what you will be gaining in the next 5 years. So skills to understand is understanding the business side. The business side of any sector you go with. Understanding the data around that. What data drives that? and then understanding basic statistics to understand how to analyze that data. And you can use tools to analyze that data too, but you cannot automate how to look at a business and say, this is the data you need to capture. AI can't tell you that. AI didn't tell you that, look, you have to look at GDP with all that to look into to increase your subscription count. I told you that. There was no AI can tell you that, look, you have to look at external, internal, and look at where you need to capture. AI can't tell you that. And remember, this is an ever-changing world. It's dynamic. Things change. Everything changes. GDP changes. So AI is not adaptive. A human is. A human can see what changes and say, okay, this is what's changing, and this is what you need to capture. So you need to understand that skill, how to look at a process and how to capture that, how to look at data and how to communicate is a big part. If you can communicate, they're not going to pay you to basically you write algorithms, but what does that algorithm mean? How does that affect my bottom line? That is what they pay you for. So communication is a huge part. How to communicate all what you've done, and how does that communicate to my bottom line? At the end of the day, it's bottom line. So the skill you need is good communication and understanding data, understanding basic statistics, and really good communication.
I love that AI. I mean, I would assume that because on yesterday's show, we talked about small businesses and how they're hiring 3 times faster than big corporations, right? I would assume that applies to small businesses consulting as well, right? So as let's just say one of us who's in this chat right now, right? We have a good amount of skills. We know that we can offer a small business our help. A lot of us just knows, right? We may have our mom and dad who has a business, or our cousins, or whatever it is, or we have the shop down the street and they haven't been using AI. They aren't looking at it, but you may have some ideas on how you can help this business because of your experience in the corporate, wherever else, right? Like one of the things I love that you use a nurse analogy is because a nurse is really taught about the vital signs of the human body that correlates to data that they just know because of their education. Now, if they were to switch their mind to looking at that into a completely different scientific way with the statistics and so forth, that makes them a freaking expert, right?
I mean, that is your nurse who looks at data and says, okay, all this correlates together. Your blood pressure, your temperature and all that, and look at it and say, okay, I correlate all this together. And all of them looks at they're normal. Is he okay? Yes or no? Or if I correlate it to this person who's the same age, and this person has a different spike in temperature in this body at the same age, but again, it's a lot of correlation. It's just they're not looking at that data and saying, I can make assessment on what's going on based on all of this. And if you understand it as a nurse, you're powerful.
Well, I even correlate us when we have business knowledge. We are a nurse for our business. Understand?
Yeah.
Like, if the way, that's why I love how powerful you said it, because my mind went to, okay, well, if nurses are helping people with vital signs and so forth, and they know what all works in order for to keep somebody healthy and so forth, you as an individual, many of us who are watching this channel right now, we have the knowledge. We are nurses inside of our business, inside of our categories, whatever we're managing for our employers, right? Could be YouTube, whatever it is, right? We're nurses for it. We know how to keep it alive, right? If we were to look at it that way, we can really help small businesses with consulting. And consulting with small businesses, that can pay you a significant amount of money. So my question for you, AI me, is that if someone wants to become an AI consultant helping small businesses, what is like a 30-day plan that they should implement? And if you can even do a 30, 60, 90-day plan, or you can just talk about a 30-day plan.
So I'm going to use me as an example. So the goal is I was trying to be a consultant in the AI space. in order to understand how businesses work. But I didn't have that much experience in terms of understanding. Remember, there's two things they said is always constant in life: taxes and death. So I didn't understand taxes. So I went back to school, to community college, to take all accounting classes to get my CPA license. In order to understand not only taxes, how taxes influences businesses, but also understand the external part, which I always talk about, GDP or your different products. If you're selling clothes, what other factors affect your ability to sell those clothes? Remember, taxes are constant. What other factors? So, as an AI person or someone who understands data, what I'll say is your goal is to understand the business of it. What affects business itself, and understand what you're selling. So, if someone's selling clothes, what are the factors that affect that individual's the bottom line for him selling clothes, or a small business selling again different aspects of it. And what I do is design a whole system and design data to actually collect those systems to know what affects their bottom line. And most businesses don't do this. 90% of business just look at the P&L statement and say, okay, that's what it was. But that's not how it works. You have to understand every aspect of your business. What affects logistics? What affects your seasonal growth? Every aspect of it needs to be collected. The data needs to be collected. And then you need to analyze, how do I increase revenue? How do I pivot? How does taxes affect it? How does everything affect it? And if you do that correctly, your business will be powerful. And how people can do it, it's not a day. You can't learn it for a day. If you're already in the industry, you already have those skills. Now the question is, what other skills do you need to learn? How to look at data is one of the big aspects. What data, how to look at, and you have to now switch your mind from, okay, everything is now data and numbers. Where do I need to collect the data from? What data it's more impactful in this business? If I'm selling clothes, and for example, my mind goes to, if you're selling clothes, now you're looking at demographics. You're looking at social media. You're looking at social impact. You're looking at your design. You're looking at local areas, international areas. You're looking at sales. You're looking at logistics. You're looking at taxes. My mind is switching to numbers already. And I'm looking at, okay, where can I get those data from, and how those data can affect your sales itself. That's where you need your mind now. If you go into the basically data or AI space, your mind switches straight into the number side. What numbers do I need to know to make this product impactful? And that's it. If you have the experience, great. But now your mind now has to be switching into data and numbers.
I love it.
What numbers basically make this product more impactful, and how can I increase it? And you now have to look at in a wider approach. You don't have to narrow it down. If you narrow it too much, that's where that 95% algorithms fail, because people narrow it too much rather than looking at other numbers that actually impact your bottom line.
I like it, man. That's big time. It sounds like to me that the transition really happens is when people start to get into the data space, really understanding the math and the data. And one thing that I love that you said, because I got to say, in my statistics class, I was pretty darn good. I was a smart guy in statistics. Some of the other math, the algebra, the calculus, all that other crap. I was good in algebra too, but calculus, I sucked. Statistics, I was actually a pretty A student. It sounds like to me that really it's people just getting into statistics and understanding the different numbers, right? And then really making that transition into the data analytics space. That seems to be the most powerful thing that gets somebody into the AI space, the AI transition. It's really the math around the statistics and then the understanding data, and really being able to make a mind shift into how to look at data and how to break different components down into data. That's what it sounds like.
Yes, that's exact. If 90% of company understand what you just understood, that would have switched. That Gen AI will now be 5% fail, 95% pass. But nobody understands that aspect. Everybody just takes an AI algorithm and just implements it in their business and thinks it automatically is going to make a great efficiency. But that's not how AI works. AI works based on what you have. Do you understand your home process? Do you understand what numbers drive your process? And not only P&L statement, what real numbers drive your process? And then you go from there.
Love it. I love it. I love it, man. MLP QRS says the ability to analyze. You're absolutely right. The data. That's right. And Jason says the 4 P's of marketing. Yes. Lynn Eleanor says, woo, good point. Many people in the startup don't understand main point or purse of the business. All they want is the profit and the strategy, which AI is doing a lot there. So Jason says how to create a corporate tug of war over your lessons. Yep, that's true. I mean, like you think about it, if you have the knowledge and you have a space, or put it like this, and you have the results. So one of the things that AI me said was companies are competing against individuals, but if you are making 500 to 1.3 million, you are someone who's very, very valuable to a business. They're going to be willing to pay you that amount of money. You're basically a business by yourself. In all instances, you just don't want to run your own business, right? The companies are willing to pay you, right? And they're and Jason's point to that was that's how you create a corporate tug of war, because they're going to want you there, they're going to want you here, and even for yourself, your example that you used, AI me, was your friends who are in this space. How they only, especially working for the federal government,
they only say 1 year to
snatch by the private companies because they pay more. I mean, like
they pay more. It's so that when everybody's complaining about, there's a tech firing, I'm like, yes, but what I'm seeing is different. I'm seeing people not staying in jobs after a year. Like, I'm out. They paying me $60,000 more. I gotta go. But you pay me $250. Yeah, but $60,000 is good chump change plus. I'm gone.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Guy, I know you gotta get off to school, my man, and get to class and get to work. But I appreciate you stopping by. I got we had somebody on here, AI me, and says, is AI me going to come back to YouTube, man? So my man, Casual Economist, wants to know when you're coming back to YouTube, my man.
Yeah, again, once I'm trying to get my CPA license, and I'm trying to understand everything about money, taxes, and predictions, and quantum technology. Again, like everybody, I got to I want to be in 1.3 million too, so. So will I come back? No, but I'm currently very busy. I'm trying to make that 1.3 million, and will I come back? Yeah, but the question is, are people ready to actually understand what this is? It's a space that's making a huge impact, and right now it's big, but people are still falling behind because the next level is already started. Quantum technology, especially in machine learning and all that, is already started, and I already started studying it and already started implementing it. So people are, again, they want to do stuff, but do they have the zeal to do it? And I'm not seeing that. I've not seen that. I've been doing this for years, and I'm still going back to school to do stuff. So do people have that kind of zeal? I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing people want to make the money, but they don't want to put the effort in making that money. You want to make 1.3 million, you're not going to be sitting down and no. You want to get $500 to $300 check, $300,000 checks. Yeah, you're going to put effort, but do people really want to put that effort?
Good point.
I don't know.
Good point. Good
Well,
point. Very good point. Very good point. The realistic expectations there. Guys, if you want to make that kind of money, you can. But are you willing to put in the effort? Are you willing to dedicate yourself? Are you willing to go and be disciplined and do it every single day and learn for an hour? You know?
You said an hour. I'm doing 2 hours. You said an hour. I'm doing 2. I got kids, and I still take at night. I still take 2 hours to learn basic statistics, and still do a little Python code every day. I have a schedule, 2 hours, and while I still go to school.
So a good portion of your day. I mean, it's. I think about it being very similar to what an athlete has to do for them to be a great athlete, right? It is you have to commit yourself to doing it. And there are some athletes that are going to be talented and don't have to put in as much time, but they eventually burn out. But you have the athletes like the Kobe Bryants, the late and great, who spent hours and dedicated himself to it because he wanted to be really, really good at it. It's no different than how you would be in, being a business owner or learning a new skill. You just got to spend hours and hours on it. And for you, like you said, you're already getting to the bag, which I already know that you've been talking about it for a very long time. You want to get to the 1.3. It still doesn't stop. Like it doesn't stop. I got to say this, right? I remember the first year that I made 480, right? I was like, man, I want to make more. Like it doesn't stop. You have to figure that out. Like it doesn't stop. And that's what people don't understand a lot of the times is when you make a certain amount of money, and if you are dedicated to what your craft is, you know that there's more out there because there's people who's actually getting to it. I love it.
So it doesn't stop. There's always a skill to learn. There's always a cert. I'm trying to get more than 2 certs. And it's always something to learn. And it's always pays. But again, will I come back? I'm not sure yet. I'm still trying to get that 1.3. Maybe after the 1.3, I might come back.
Well, put it like this. We will always have you back on my channel, and you can come through and be our AI resident expert here. I appreciate your time, my man. Go and enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch up soon, my man. I appreciate you for coming through, my man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Talk to you later now.
All right.
My man AI and me just gave you guys the game. I'm like, he just literally gave you guys the game. I'm like, Thursday, I came on here to give you the AI career intelligence that changes everything about work in America. Here's what you learned today. You learned that Google is forcing their employees to use AI and to leverage AI. And this proves that AI skills are now required for career survival. Microsoft, they had a salary leak, shows AI workers make $128,000 all the way up to $1.3 million per year. You had the MIT study reveal that 95% of AI projects fail, but 5% create massive wealth in profits for companies and massive opportunities. And AI and me came on here and gave us this real scoop from a real person who's actually in the space. He understands why 95% of companies are failing. And he basically said it. It's because of the data. And this is where your opportunity is. Understanding the data. That's where the opportunity is. It's really understanding the data. If you're able to make a mind shift to where you have current industry experience and you look at yourself as a nurse for keeping that business surviving that you're in, that department, and you're able to now shift to make an impact with data, you are on your way. It's just as simple as that. So you now have that, you now know that Google's proof that AI skills are mandatory for keeping up with the future, but also keeping your job. Because if you're not using AI, eventually you may get fired. I mean, that's what's being said, what's not being said directly. But I'm going to say it. If Google comes out and says that they are requiring that their employees to use AI, and employees don't use AI, and they're talking about putting performance reviews on how much they use AI, that means that if you don't use AI, you're going to get fired. The corporate way is the way how they said it. The real way is the way how I say it. Okay? You're going to get fired if you don't use AI. If you learn statistics and you learn how to analyze data, you could be making at a minimum $128,000 a year in your space, in your industry. You have to understand what your industry needs, though. That's the whole point of one of the things that AI and me said was learning and understanding where you're at. And that's where you may need some career coaching as well. Because a lot of times we want to make this big shift to start making this kind of money, and we don't even know where we're at. And you may need a coach to help you understand where you're at, or you may need ChatGPT. I have done coaching sessions in the Heights Patreon and have done group sessions to where I've helped people understand where they are. And I've done that last Saturday. In this upcoming Saturday, we are going to be doing how to optimize your LinkedIn and how to optimize your resume for those who are looking to make a pivot. But we will probably go through a good portion of how to understand where you're at as well as a recap. So consider joining the Patreon. Link in the description of this video. But you know now, you got expert guidance from AI and me on practical AI career transitions and how to do it. From somebody who's in this space, who's making over $500,000 a year, but he wants to get to the 1.3 million. Now, while others are fearing AI taking their jobs, they're boo-hoo crying, they're making a whole bunch of TikTok videos. You understand how to use AI to get better jobs. Whether it's waste money on all the AI hype, you know how to focus on practical AI that actually works and what makes AI work. That's what you know how to do now. Just because you watch the Daily Climb. I appreciate you guys. We got a super chat from Brother Wrench Turner. He says, Brother Antoine, what's a good contact email for you, sir? It is antoine.wade@blkheights.com, Brother Wrench Turner. You can send me an email any day of the week. That's the email that I answer. Antoine.wade@blkheights.com. And make sure it's blkheights, HEIGHTS.com. But guys, that's the game. I appreciate the $10 super chat, my man. We had another super chat in here. Well, Mr. Nix is in the house. Said, gentlemen, what do you think a seasoned infrastructure professional should focus on learning in the AI silos to become a better infrastructure professional? I'm going to, Mr. Nix, I appreciate that super chat. I missed it earlier, but I just got to it. I'm going to connect you with AI and me, and he will be a great expert for you to help you on that path as well, Mr. Nix. But that was a fantastic question from somebody who is a seasoned infrastructure professional, what he should focus on learning in the AI silos to become a better infrastructure professional. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for me, though, Mr. Nix, is cloud and AI, man. I mean, you know cloud. I mean, you're an infrastructure individual. I mean, we already know you're getting to the money, but being in the cloud and AI, that's where the money really is. So I'll connect you to, though, Mr. Nix. Look for an email after this show within the next hour or two, okay? But guys, I appreciate you for joining the show today. You have a good rest of your Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys back on tomorrow's show at 7 a.m. in the morning. We're going to talk about workday earnings. We're going to talk about what Fed Powell said today at Jackson Hole, and we will get you guys into the weekend wrap up to give you guys some actions on what you can do to get ahead over the weekend. Until next time, guys. Peace.